Hello students, as we all know that agriculture plays a pivotal role for the development of the country. The development of the country is incomplete without the upliftment of agriculture sector. All the individual sector directly or indirectly depends on agriculture. Every year, agriculture sector adds foreign exchange in foreign exchange reserve. But situation was not the same. At the time of independence, the condition of agriculture sector was stagnated. And the reason for all this was unlimited exploitation of the farmers. Listen, Britishers had introduced a unique system of land revenue. It is a setup of a triangular relationship between the government, owner of the land, and the tillers of the land through different settlements. In the year 1772, on trial basis, Waring Hastings introduced the quinquennial settlement for 5 years. Under it, middlemen were introduced and they were recognized as the permanent owner of the soil. Later on in the year 1777, it was abolished. Then, Lord Cornwallis in 1793 introduced Jamindari system. It's more or less the same revenue settlement. Then in the year 1820, Thomas Monroe introduced Rotwari system. Then in 1833, William Bentinck introduced the Malwari system. Listen, under these settlements, middlemen, say Jamindars, were recognized as the permanent owner of the soil. Now Jamindars were to pay a fixed sum to the government as land revenue. They were free to extract as much as they want from the tillers of the soil. These settlement leads to the unlimited exploitation of the tillers of the soil by the Jamindars. So after independence, it is realized that the condition of the farmer has to be revived. For this, government decided to go for land reforms. In this video, we will discuss the land reforms and its phases. But before that, if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe it and don't forget to press the bell icon so that whenever I upload the new video, you get the notification. Listen, the objective of the land reform is not only to give land to the landless, but also to improve the productivity. Question is why and how? Because if we give land to the landless, people are or who are true cultivator should be motivated to produce more because they are now the owner of the land. The land reforms in India had three main objectives. Number one, removing institutional discrepancies. It means removal of ownership and tenants conflict. Second objective is socio-economic inequalities. It means giving land to the landless so that they will be motivated to increase the productivity so that in the long run the socio-economic inequality will be totally removed. It means that gap between the rich and poor should be cut short. Third, increase agriculture production. That is, adopt modern methods of farming so that productivity should be increased. If we go in detail, the land reforms may have following 6 objectives. Let us see all the objectives. First objective is rational use of land. Second objective is raising production land. Third is removal of exploitation. Fourth is social welfare. Fifth is planned development. Sixth is raising standard of living. For the land reform, government has decided that they will follow 2 phases. During the first phase, the government decided that they will follow 3 steps. The first step was abolition of intermediaries. Second, tenancy reforms. And the third, reorganization of agriculture land. Let us discuss all these reforms in detail. The first one is abolition of intermediaries. Listen, we all know that during the British rule, different land settlement badly hit the conditions of the peasants. So the government decided to remove jamidars to revitalize the condition of the peasants. This reform gives benefit to some set of tenants. The question is, who were those tenants? Listen, they were the occupancy tenants. Now the question is, who are occupancy tenants? Listen, these are those tenants who have the occupancy right over the land, that is, special rights till they pay the tax to the jamidars. So only occupancy tenants get the direct benefit from this reform. It is estimated that through this reform, 11 million occupancy tenants get the direct benefit. Since this reforms has not benefited the subtenants and the sharecroppers, so the government decided to go for second reforms. So the government launched tenancy reform. Listen, the main reason behind the tenancy reform was to provide security, regularity and ownership to the tillers. Under tenancy reforms, government had launched three interrelated reforms. See what these reforms are. The first one, confronted ownership right. What it is? Listen, through this reform, occupancy tenants became the owner of the land and started providing job to the subtenants and the sharecroppers. Listen, to protect the interest of the subtenants and the sharecroppers, government introduced other reforms. Let us see what was that reform. That is the security of tenure. Through this reform, government protect the interest of sharecroppers and subtenants. Now the land is given to them for the stipulated time, and in between they are not departed from their cultivated land. Then the government introduced another reform, that is a regulation of rent. Through this reform, excess rent cannot be charged from the subtenants and sharecroppers. But in the tenancy reforms, two major problems were there. First one, it was not implemented properly in the case of intermediaries. The condition of the intermediary is the same. Second is, this reform benefited only one class of society. So the government decided to go for third reform. What was that third reform? That is reorganization of land or sealing of land holdings. Through this reform, maximum land holding is fixed. If the peasant is having surplus land holdings, then that surplus land holding will be taken away from him and should be given to the sharecroppers and subtenants. The area one can hold vary from state to state, depends upon the land holding capacity of the farmers. Listen, this reforms was also not successful. The question is why? Because most of the inferior land is surrendered. If the people are having more land, firstly they surrender the inferior land. They will never ever try to surrender the fertile area. Second is, to avoid the sealing, people started transferring excess land to their relatives, friends, and in most of the cases to their pets. Third problem, the sealing of land holding gives birth to nuclear family. Listen, once the government launched the Green Revolution, the issue of the land reforms get marginalized. Let us see the reason behind it. The first reason is, land reform were socially opposed by the land owning caste lobbies, while there was no such opposition to the Green Revolution. People were supporting the Green Revolution. Second was, the level of the legislative attempts taken by the government regarding the land reforms till date had almost no positive socio-economic impact on the country, while the Green Revolution was having all potential of providing high yielding variety of grains. It means the government through this reform has not given any benefit. The socio-economic condition of the people was the same, but Green Revolution has completely changed their position. Third was, internal pressure was very much. Government has to stop it, stop the first phase discontinued the first phase. Why? Because the government has a fear that the government will collapse. Listen, during the second phase of land reforms, importance is given to leasing. The question is, what is this leasing? Listen, when the piece of land is being given to the other person for the stipulated time period, the ownership is enjoyed by the people, by the person who is giving the land. In most of the cases, we have seen that suppose if I am having a land and I give the land to Mr. X for 10 years, I am the true owner of the land and I am giving the ownership right on the piece of the land to Mr. X, and in consideration of enjoying that right, Mr. X will keep on giving me the yearly or monthly rent. I will keep on enjoying the true owner right. During the second phase of land reforms, importance is given to leasing. I hope the leasing is clear. Listen, different states followed leasing to suppress farmers who are opposing the land reforms. See, corporate farming has not taken place in the country on a big scale, especially in the area of food grains production. While India need to ensure food security and to compete global food market, it is felt that if dominance is given to leasing, several problems can be solved. Like, leasing will keep land in the hands of the existing farmers. They have the problem. That is the main reason the government has to discontinue the first phase of the land reforms. So the farmers might not be having any problem because they will keep on enjoying the ownership right on the land. Second, it will prevent mass landlessness and unemployment among the farmers, because the farmer will give the land to the corporate sector on lease. The corporate sector will keep on providing them the rent, and their service will also be hired on the piece of the land. So the problem of the unemployment might not be there. Third problem is farmers will get the permanent source of income. Monthly or annually they will get the rent, so they will get the permanent source of income. The fourth problem that can be solved is it will make land easily available for the use of public and the private purposes. Listen, the multinational companies are not coming. Why they are not coming? Because the land area is scarce in the country. And if through this leasing, the land area will be made available to them, the industrialization will take place in a country at a high rate, and the agriculture will also be developed at a high rate. So it will be good for the betterment of the country. Listen, government is trying to attain all the land reforms objectives through the second phase. Let's hope it will be attained. That's all we have in this video. Meet you soon with a new video. Till then, God bless you. Thanks for watching.